Well, hello everyone, and welcome to Hogarth's Global Astrology. Here we have the two ladies with us. We are back. We are reunited.
Reunite.
After that, my rather unfortunate, obviously, really honestly thoughts and prayers out to the family of the sad person that lost their life getting hit by the train. We think they may have actually leapt in front of the train, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And it led to one of the most extraordinary delays. It took me 8 hours to eventually get back home, and I ended up with my friends at Gatwick Airport. So it was almost, we were saying we feel like we've returned from a terrible holiday that we've never had.
Yes.
It was very strange, and we're still not sure about the story, to be honest. And the trains, one of my friends was saying, even on the Sunday, so this happened between Saturday through to Sunday, even in Sunday daytime, the trains still weren't running. So we're not sure about the story. But thank you, everyone, for your well wishes and stuff. And thank you, Lady G, for using your initiative and then getting everyone over to your channel to answer some of the questions. So I just wanted to thank you for that.
Well, we didn't have everyone over there, but there were some people that showed up. So it was good. We did what we could. That's all.
So good on your team, including the viewers who went across. So thank you all.
Yes, and I'm just so happy you guys are back again.
Yeah.
Indeed. So I didn't go anywhere. I stayed in London, and there's a lot of weird stuff going on, folks. So before we open the show, we'll do a little bit of astrological weather. Now, I've been updating people, of course, you know, in separate videos about kind of stuff going on astrologically, but it is a lot. Just so you know, it is a lot. By the time we get to early September, we're going to have six. What am I doing? Oh, what am I doing here? Six planets retrograde. 6.
Yeah.
Is anything going to move forward at all?
You know what? The only planet apart, because basically the sun and the moon, they are always direct. Yeah, they're never retrograde. Rahu and Ketu, the nodes of the moon, they are always retrograde. So they're always retrograde anyway. The only planet moving direct will be Mars on the 5th of September. That's the only. Now, remember, Mars is the planet of what? War, discord, this, that, and the other. And can do, you know, and he's going to be in Virgo, which isn't a very good sign of health and healing and overcoming obstacles. I can't say exactly what it's going to be, but there's some big stuff going on in the world. However, there is light in the world as well. And I've just come from a non-alcoholic party, actually.
Well, let me say I haven't. I went to an alcohol-driven funk party last night.
But you know what, Lena? We really appreciate. Oh, bless. We really appreciate your commitment, and you know, because it is your Sunday morning. And it is funny on Saturday. So yeah, I've just come from a non-alcoholic party and it was fabulous. If you guys want to see some bits, it's on my Instagram with the music and all that stuff. So shall we begin?
Yes,
let us begin. Now we're gonna fast pace as always, folks. So hold on to your panties, and I've got some interesting stuff to tell you as well, particularly when it comes to something to do with the UN, just so you know. But I'm going to start out slightly on silly street. Yeah. And what do I mean by that? It's kind of silly, but it kind of isn't. So you remember around when we looked at Elon Musk and Mark Zuckerberg, yeah? Do you remember when we looked at them and that proposed caged fight? And do you remember I was kind of joking, and do you remember I said, well, what's under the Empress's skirts? Do you remember? Because the Empress came up and I said, I think there's more to this. And we were both saying, Well, it turns out now, the two of you may know this already, and just in case there's anyone watching that doesn't. So Elon Musk has officially filed a lawsuit against Meta, which of course is Mark Zuckerberg. Yeah. So, and it's what is it here? It says, so I've written here, Elon Musk sues Mark Zuckerberg over his rival platform to Twitter called Threads. Have you heard about this?
No.
Right. So essentially Mark Zuckerberg has created what is effectively a rival to Twitter, which I kind of saw something like that would happen. It launched, I think it launched on Wednesday or something like that. And overnight, it got over 30 million people have already signed up in one day.
Wow.
So you can imagine, obviously, Mr. Muskrat is having, having the sweats, cold night sweats about that. So he's got his lawyer involved, a guy called Mr. Spyro. I forget his first name, but his last name is Spyro. And in a letter, he says Meta has employed former Twitter employees, allegedly.
Who was sacked.
Exactly. And I've written it, who were brutally sacked. Remember, he sacked over half of the 8,000 employees at Twitter. So, he knows how to make enemies. And that's when I actually left Twitter, actually. I just thought it was out of order. You just can't treat people like that. And anyway, so he alleges that they continue to have access to Twitter's trade secrets and other highly confidential information. This is what Musk alleges. So the question here is, I've written here, could Zuckerberg fatally wound Twitter and bring the platform to its end? How about that? I think that's quite juicy, don't you think, ladies? Let's have a look. Let's see.
And Teresa says, I opened a Thread account and it was easy. Good.
Yeah. Well, I think what happened is, obviously the diehards will stay on Twitter because, as we know, Twitter is a very established platform. Yeah. There are people who have millions of followers and stuff. And of course, it's difficult for them just to up sticks and just move to another platform. There's no guarantee that their followers will come. But I think having that many people sign up in one day doesn't really bode too well, does it, for Twitter? And apparently the platform is devoted to kindness. How much of that I believe?
Zuckerberg would know all about that. Yeah, really.
Indeed, he has to plug himself into the wall just to maintain a heartbeat, I think. But anyway, never mind. That's what he's saying.
Oh.
Very interesting. Okay. Will Threads end Twitter? Oh, the cards are feeling quite...
Yeah, it's quite dynamic. Will I go?
Go for it, Lena.
Yeah, well, I think this is Mark Zuckerberg when all that Twitter stuff was going down. He's thinking, how can I pick up the slack? I think this hit his brain as soon as it started happening with this Two of Pentacles. Musk has got himself in a bind by his dreadful behavior. Oh, whoops, here's the death card. Not looking merveilleux, you'd think, for Musk here. He will go down the legal route, and I really, really, really hope that this exposes their sackings as opposed to what he wants, which is them taking information with them. This justice is a two-edged sword. It could go either way, and a brand new day. And I don't think that's for Twitter. No, I think it's for Threads. I'm not mad about the name Threads.
Yeah,
it sounds like a vintage clothing shop or something. But anyway, they didn't ask me.
Lady G, what do you have?
Okay, well, above it all, we have, wanting to take action, leader, putting something new, but we have a little bit of judgment going on with the new things that he's doing with starting this new company. Underneath of it, we have some mental pain when it comes. Now, I think that this other one is, our friend, the Musk. And he's wanting to get to calmer waters because this is stirring up a lot of crap for him. At the center is wanting to keep the family, keep people there that they can move forward. There was an upturn of things in the past, and now he's got a big burden that he's got to carry. The challenge is trying to get over on this to go forward. So he's trying to figure out some way to scuttle it.
Yeah, very, very good. And Sharon Donnelly is asking, what does Shakespeare think about it? This is a company, so it's Shakespeare works better with direct people. So, but there is a Clarence Thomas question if we have time, and we'll definitely get the bard's opinion on him, because Clarence Thomas has yet to receive the opinion of the bard, shall we say. But that's quite interesting, isn't it, so far with the cards? All right, so what have I got? So this is, will Threads kind of effectively be able to sync Twitter? So if we look here, this is almost like, I mean, surely by now, Elon Musk is probably thinking about trying to move to smoother waters. Yeah, he's probably thinking, well, I've just about managed to, you know, stabilize the ship. Do you remember he was hemorrhaging supporters, etc., and stuff like that for the longest time? Couldn't get the finances right. Started doing the subscription scheme for the blue tick, which didn't go down well, and then of course his own subscribers asked him to step down as head of the whole thing. Do you remember? And he had to get some new director in. So in a way, this to me is saying that he's wanting to move to smoother waters, but you see it's still choppy here. And obviously, you know, what Zuckerberg has done doesn't help. And we can see Elon Musk's feelings about this in the next card. He feels like he's been stabbed in the back. Quite literally. 1 minute they were going to be doing cage fights with each other in some kind of strange baby oiled slicked version of a bromance, you know, of a bromance. But now he feels with this launch of Threads, he's been stabbed in the back. Now, he should have anticipated this, because this has actually been the pipe works for a while. And there's been rumors that Facebook would do this. So I think, look at this. This is Musk here under the tree pondering what on earth to do about his rival. Because it's not just any rival. It's
that's right.
Do you know what I mean? Who is what? You know, I mean, look, we both know that they're, you know, absolutely mentally deranged billionaires who've lost all contact with reality, but it's not the point. He is fighting literally, legally and mentally and emotionally with someone who really is his match.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? Zuckerberg really is his match.
They're the young Turks. Yeah.
Exactly. And there they are. So here he is. He's really trying to hatch a plan, but really not liking the options, because, of course, Zuckerberg would have sewn a lot of stuff up. And Twitter's scroll feed thing is not a unique thing anyway. Imagine if only you could only scroll on Twitter. I mean, that's just ridiculous. So here he is. There he is getting the lawyer in. Yeah. Here's the lawyer here. He's going to try and use legal means to puncture, obviously, Mark Zuckerberg and all of that stuff. Will he succeed? I'm not sure. If we look here, it's the Four of Wands. But who's this happy ending for? Is it the case that, you know, Musk feeling stabbed in the back, as he tries to move for smaller waters, eventually has a legal victory? I'm not sure. I don't think his case is strong enough. Or is this Zuckerberg getting victory in the end? And in fact, he's already got a lot of security already, because if you get 30 million people to sign up for your app in one day, that is somewhat of a triumph, isn't it? And this is about marking milestones. So I think the edge goes to Zuckerberg on this one. Will it be the end of Twitter? Maybe not quite, but I think he's going to really be stiff competition. Anything else to add to that, ladies?
Well, yeah, I think it could split the audience and see what happened. Anastasia says, don't forget Zuckerberg stole Bookface from his friend in the
Of
past.
course. Of course.
Interesting.
He
Yes.
is very good at finding something that is rather juicy and then appropriating it. So he does have form. All right. Are we ready for the next question?
Yeah.
All right. Now, this is an interesting one, ladies. I would say this is rather piquant. Rather piquant. This could divide opinion. It could divide opinion. So, as you guys know, just to go in with a little bit extra astrological weather, you've all heard me bleating on about Saturn, yeah? Moving into Aquarius, and I said governments are going to do all sorts of stuff to do with tech, cryptocurrencies, regulation of the internet, new rules, regulation, and lots of people will be protesting. Anyway, so listen to this. So the UN, now this isn't conspiracy theory, folks, this is really happening. So the UN has published a document in May 2023, and it's called it's the UN's Global Digital Compact. Have you heard of this, ladies?
No.
Well. So basically, I've put a link in the video descriptions, folks, to videos that kind of explain it a bit more. There's one guy I found, he's a little bit skeptical, but he's put all of the sort of like WHO and blah, 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 the new directives that are coming up. This is really happening, especially in 2024, there's going to be more. So what have I put here in the notes? So the UN wants to create, it's like a whole database. No, not the UN. It's the WHO is wanting to do this, which is the Universal Health Card. I don't know if you've heard about this. This is just one of the things being proposed. So basically everyone will receive, or what they want everyone, which will be compulsory, to take a digital card, and that will decide who can enter which countries and not, etc.
Oh no. Yeah,
I kid you not. So literally you can look up on the WHO, this is what they've got coming up. But this is the UN. So what is so that's it. The UN wants nations and governments of the whole world to comply with their new digital regulation plans. So what is that it's kind of like they want to create a global consensus on access to digital services and stuff like that. This includes trade, sales, internet, etc. What they are advocating is to get rid of hate speech, but there's a lot more to it. So you can just follow the link in the videos where other people explain it better than I. And within that video are several other links where the institutions are talking about what they want to implement in their own words. Do you know what I mean? And I'll add another video as well where there's someone from the UN is talking in their own words as well, just so you've got the counter argument in the interest of fairness. Yeah. So what I wanted to ask is with this global, what kind of impact will this global digital compact / identity have? What's the energies around it? How about that?
Energy around it.
And just to add, the UN is using, the WHO is using the EU's COVID pass, which was that pan-European, as part of their new international digital ID that they want everyone to have compulsory, just so you know. But the UN's Global Digital Compact, what effect will that have?
Well, I can go.
Go for it.
Yeah. Right in the center, the Three of Swords in the heart here. I don't think it's going to happen, to be honest with you.
Oh, I hope not.
Yeah. It's too quick or something. I'll get to that. These things are always introduced under the guise of angel stuff, like we're saving children or we're protecting people's public health, or, this is in your best interests, always that's the line. People aren't buying it. I think people are drowning in digital identity, things they have to worry about and maintain and source. I mean, apart from keeping people out of airports and countries, what purpose is it meant to serve? I'm sure they would tell you, oh, you could do this and this, you know, in your security or health interests, but people aren't buying it because they're exhausted. Someone's going to make a compelling case for it. And like most things, when you say it quickly, it sounds like it, you know, could have a function or a role. But the world is so at odds with itself. It is no more ready. In Australia, we don't even have a national driver's license. Every driver's license is by state. And I think it's the same in the US. Because I used to have a California driver's license. Now, if we can't get a national driver's license, how the hell are we going to get a global anything? Right?
That's what they want. They want at least 5 billion citizens to have it. At least 5 billion.
I mean, it's not well thought out. It's just going ahead without anything sensible behind it, is how it's just.
Did you get the chariot as well? Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Anything to add to that, Lena, or should it? Is it? Can Lady G?
No, I'm done.
All right, Lady G, what do you have?
Well, going into it, this is, you know, some new idea that they're putting out there as something fabulous. But what's going on now with the people, they're just like, yeah, no, because at the center, we have hidden things going on with it. The difficulty is getting people on board with it because there's just too much up in the air. And what I see with it, if you have somebody that hacks into the system, what a mess that would be.
Gosh.
Absolutely insane.
Wow. I hadn't even thought of that. You're absolutely right. Also, as well, say they do this whole digital thing and this becomes the be all and end all. What if someone steals that ID? They can steal your whole life.
There'd be a market in it. Half an hour after it was released.
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. It's extraordinary, isn't it? But yes. So remember, guys, so if you want to learn more about it, I've got video links as well. I've also got links as well to what's going on with Airbnb in a continuation from a Young Turks thing that I saw that was talking about how Airbnb in America is really, you know, starting to change. So it's all in there. But back to the question. So will this be implemented, this global digital compact? If we look here we are. I mean, straight away, I mean, that's not really the best card, is it? You know, the walking in the way and reverse. So already that seems to me ominous. Well, what this says to me is how many people really now. We know the governments are in the pockets of certain institutions, so they're going to be like, yes, please, let's do it. But really, how many people are actually going to go for this? Also, as well, not every country wants to comply, because there are actually a lot of countries around the world that are looking at the direction of traffic, and they're like, do we really need even more control? Look, they have everything. We've got passports. We've got universal ID cards. We've got our mobile phones. We all know all they need is access to your mobile phone, and that's everything.
I know everything about you.
Can be achieved. So there's that. Look at that. I get 3 of Swords as well. Yeah. So sometimes when it's reversed, it can mean like, you know, a quick recovery or healing after emotional distress and stuff like that. But I'm not really seeing it that way in the context of the card that went before. Yeah. I think the reception to it could be lukewarm at best. They really have to justify what this is all about, because we all know what happened, you know, with Monsieur COVID, you know, it shows that you can't really stop the whole world. They did manage to stop the whole world, but it was all too little too late anyway. The horse long bolted after they closed the stable door. Here they are. I think they're going to try and push forward with these plans anyway. Here's the Chariot here. So look, they're looking determined to roll this kind of stuff out. Their arguments is that it's going to be for security.
Mm.
There we are. We've got the Six of Cups here. And it's almost going to be, I think they're going to try and use nostalgia.
Mm.
Do you remember what life was like before, COVID, before everything changed? Now, if you sign up to this, it's going to be like back in the old days when no one committed any crime, no one had any passports, no one even broke wind. Yeah. Really, I think the outcome card really says what this is all about.
Yeah.
Look, the globe is in the guy's hands. I think this is much more about certain people standing on their heels, trying to figure out how they can get yet more control, because this man is prospecting and he's literally, this is the world. Isn't that interesting? So I don't buy it. I'm kind of a natural rebel anyway. All astrologers are, all tarot readers are. In fact, any of us who have our own YouTube channel is actually a bit of a rebel. I don't buy it. What else do you think, ladies?
Yeah, no, I think it's got too many security risks with it.
Yeah.
Many different things that could go wrong. This is sort of coming back to America. Then we're going to look at the Dutch government, and then we're going to look at Duck L'Orange and some other things. So this is an AI one. This is an AI one. So I was watching Amanpour and Co. the other day. So the man who's called the Godfather of AI, Geoffrey Hinton, warns of the existential threat of AI on societies. And he's saying it's more pressing even than climate change. Yeah, because the pace is so quick. So one of the things he's worried about is sort of like deep fakes. He didn't use that word, but I did say when Neptune went into Pisces, deep fake would be something that we're the shadow. Yeah, because the AI, of course, is so good. So Geoffrey Hinton suggests counterfeit videos and fake voices should creating stuff like that should have some kind of some kind of sentence attached to it, as if you were counterfeiting money. So and he's worried that super intelligent. Now you got to remember, this is the man that helped pioneer AI. He used to work for Google and he left Google just so that he could speak freely. He said they weren't trying to curtail him, but he didn't want to have that seeming conflict of interest. And he argues it's in no one's interest for AI to take over. So the question here is, will regulation be able to contain AI at all?
Big question.
Whopper. Told you it'd be a juicy one tonight, folks. Big questions. Will AI be able to be contained? In one of my rare agreements with Elon Musk, he said, even though he's a big investor, he himself has said AI is the biggest threat to humanity. And he actually asked for an embargo of at least 6 months for no more development of AI to happen. And that's from Elon Musk. So that will tell you a lot. Who I'm not the biggest fan of, but on that one, I think he's right.
Only because he doesn't own a patent on a huge slab of it, probably, but yes.
Indeed. This is interesting.
I'm ready.
Go for it, Lena.
Yeah. Well, the Page of Pentacles, pages being messages about our values too. So with AI comes a giant question mark over a whole range of philosophical and human issues. Do you have AI carers? Is that better than a human or better than not having a human at all, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera? So there's every sort of question in every branch of everything around what AI should do. There's a lot of argument around this with the Five of Wands. the problem is, I think it's already out and about. It's very strong and it's moving very quickly. I suspect we can try and outrun it, but can't. I don't think we can't even regulate trains or the coal industry or anything mortal. How the hell is any government going to really be able to regulate AI? Because like climate change, this has been coming for 30, 40 years, and no one paid any attention when they should have been putting parameters around the research of it before they even developed this idea and that idea. The horse has bolted.
Yes. Lady G, what do you have?
Well, at the center of it all, we have this new idea, and there is that concern that this is something strong that they're going to wind up with fighting with. Okay, they're going to have a real difficult time. So going into it, this idea that they had, they're looking at if it really should be ended and should be taken down in a retreat in a way. The challenge is the path forward. What are we going to do with this? And juggling and coming to balance. So they're looking at some ways maybe to move it forward, but get more control of it. So it does say in the beginning that they are really worried about it, that, you know, if they even should have brought this into existence.
Yeah. I've been having a lot of deep thoughts about this over the weekend because education and intelligence do not always equal wisdom.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And those are often confused.
Yeah.
Yes, intelligence, you know, in many ways is a virtue and intelligent. But the thing is with intelligence likes to explore things for their own sake. Hypotheticals. Oh, isn't this a brilliant idea? Oh, let's do this. Let's do that. And wisdom, of course, is the appropriate application of knowledge and stuff like that. And what I've learned is just, you know, not that I've been around that long on planet Earth, but there is plenty of intelligence, but wisdom is rare. Yeah. And what I would say is this to humanity or to any species: it is never wise to create a species more superior than yourself, who doesn't have to eat, doesn't have to sleep, doesn't have to give birth or have children or anything like that, doesn't have to pee or poop ever. And what has disappointed me have been the naivety of these people who are doing this. That this guy who's the Jeffrey Hinton was like, I was shocked when I realized that the system we designed to try and make the AI like the human brain is in fact better than the human brain. And oops, I didn't mean to. This is someone who's worked for 40 years in this, and you couldn't join a few dots and think, oh, we're making something that is more intelligent than all of humanity combined together, whose intelligence exponentially increases by the hour. Do you know what? Look, this before I share my cards, but if I was AI, this is what I would do. Watch all these stupid human beings absolutely connect everything up digitally, just like with this new compact. We're going to digitalize everything. So I'll sit there, wait till everything's all digitalized, and then I'll be like, okay, humanity, this is what's going to happen. Unless you integrate with us and let us use your bodies and whatever little use we can find for your tiny brains, we're going to press the nuclear button. Then what? Yeah. Because as far as I'm aware, AI is not affected by radiation. Yeah. That's what I would do if I were AI. Anyway, I don't want to give them too many ideas than they've already had already. So will this be regulated? Here's the government sitting there, the Hierophant. So at least some people in authority are starting to wake up a little bit. I think the sun has risen, and they're starting to realize, oh dear, maybe this is a problem, because the sun here is turned in the obstacle position. So this is a revelation, but it's like, it's taken them a bit of a while to join up the dots. You know, some of these people, I don't think they're that bright. I think when AI and all this chat GBT launched and everyone, it was like, yay, yay, isn't this fabulous? Let's just tell the AI absolutely everything about us, because AI couldn't possibly use that against us in the future, couldn't it? Yeah. Let me ask it all these questions. Now, look, it's natural human curiosity, and I don't want to cuss people out, and I don't want to make people bad for chatting to chat GBT. I am not talking to this thing because it doesn't need any more of my or anyone else's input. They are going to have to rush forward with emergency legislation. Yeah, because my outcome card here is the sword, King of Swords, which we know legalities. I think they're really going to have to sprint to switch off the button before it's too late. But I'm kind of with you, Lena, and ladies, I think it's already.
Yep. It's up to us now. We're at the mercy of what shred of ethics any of these, you know, scientists are thinking of. Nancy says, and hi, Nancy. And I just found out a few minutes ago, Nancy is an epigeneticist. I can say that despite my hangover, but I appreciate that work that you do, Nancy. But she says the web owns us.
Mm-hmm.
And to a certain extent, yeah.
Shall we see what Shakespeare thinks of AI?
Ooh.
Oh.
Okay, sure. Yeah.
Well, let's go with this, folks. Now, who called out last? I think it's Lady G's turn this time, isn't it? Lady G, I think it's you.
Okay.
Let's see what the Bard has to say about AI. In all of his infinite wisdom, Bard, what can you share with us? You tell me when to stop,
There,
Lady G.
stop.
Oh. How interesting. This is from 12th Night. And the Bard says, you are not worth another word. Isn't that interesting?
Isn't that something? Ooh.
Oh, and we're talking about chat GPT. You are not worth another word. 12th Night. Wow.
And it just means unskilled jobs will go by the million. Also, top-end jobs, ironically, you know, can also be vulnerable.
Yeah. I think it's one of the things I saw coming that I predicted was universal income. And I did a prediction, I think it was late last year. I saw it because I could just see that there could be something to do with universal income. And I think that universal income will have to happen because if they, British Telecoms, BT, cut 10,000 jobs the other day, just like that.
Ooh.
Because they've got AI. So we could see like mass unemployment. Yeah. They just outsource it and then there has to be universal income. But anyway, we'll see. So we're going to go to Holland and then we're going to look at Duck Larange and Clarence Thomas and we'll see what else we can squeeze in. So ladies, I don't know if you've heard about this. This story broke on yesterday. So the Dutch government has collapsed. Have you heard about this?
No.
Yeah, Dutch government has collapsed. So the Dutch government has collapsed over immigration policies. And there's also been significant protests in the country, particularly with farmers and all of this kind of stuff. But essentially, the government couldn't agree on an immigration policy. The more far right side of the politics wanted to have a ban on any asylum seekers coming for 2 years, even if they had family that had already arrived. And then the sort of Christian Democrat kind of sort of side actually went with some Christian values and were just like, well, no, we should let these people in. They couldn't reach an agreement, so the government collapsed and has had to be dissolved and is now under the auspices of the king until they can have a new general elections. Interesting, that, isn't it?
Yeah,
So,
I'm just looking it up quickly. So it's the coalition that is
yeah.
holding it together that has collapsed. But because of their unique structure, now the king is there doing the dance till they get their act together. How extraordinary.
Very extraordinary. And I mean, if the same happened in the UK, then the king, King Charles, would have to step up and do the same. So you can find that, guys, on Reuters. I also posted it on my community channel as well, so people can just see that for themselves. It's all over the news. So the question here is, will Holland's government collapse affect the country, or how will Holland's government collapse affect the country and the EU going forward? I'm not scrimping on the big questions.
No, we're going epic today. The Dutch government.
Dutch government.
Yeah, we should call it the Netherlands.
Netherlands, yeah.
Thank you for reminding us.
Oh yeah, because of course you have Flemish as well, and Flemish speakers in other nations or other languages. Oh, wow. Who's ready to go?
I can, yeah.
Go for it.
I think this is people trying to work it out with this Three of Pentacles. Obviously, behind the scenes, there's intense stuff going on. I think it's a victory for the right in the sense to have got it to this stage where the country has actually effectively disbanded its government short term or whatever. It's certainly not a victory for the sane. I don't think they're going to come to a resolution by Tuesday lunchtime. There's a bit of a delay here. They have to work out what they're going to do. And then we've got two cups cards. So we've got the Page and the Queen of Cups. So to me, emotionally, this would be how the Dutch people are feeling. It would not be comfortable, easy, or nice to wake up to the news that your government has collapsed, no matter which side of the fence you're on, unless you're one of those agitating for the collapse. It is not good news. But in this case, I think the Queen, who might literally be a queen in this case, will keep a lid on the emotions and steer the country forward during the tumult. So I think it'll resolve, but it won't be pretty.
Lady G, what do you have? And you've got a compliment that's coming as well. So loving Lady G and her style, from Julie McNeely.
Thank you. Thank you so much. At the center of it, we have those delusional people, the friends of that. So we're looking at the uber right with this. As far as turning their back on the past and looking forward, they're trying to juggle this and feel like it is a Pandora's box of difficulties. And so they've got a fly in the ointment when it comes to the challenge of healing and doing the right thing. It's big emotional drama, and they're seeing what's being offered. So is it going to be healing, or is it going to be giving toxic things? So, yeah.
Very interesting. Very interesting. My cards are quite mixed here. King of Cups.
King of Cups.
King of Cups. So already, I mean, it's as we know, this can be quite a multifaceted card, isn't it? Because I mean, most of the time he's like our teddy bear card for Biden, isn't it? We go, oh, Biden, but obviously he's not involved in this. So the King of Cups is very creative. He's intuitive. It's sort of like a positive kind of male energy and stuff like that, or considered. So for me, I'm seeing this. Maybe this is the people of the Netherlands trying to keep stuff in perspective, trying to stay calm. And of course, it is a watery nation. And you can see here, one foot in, so, you know, that's all the canals and everything like that. So I think this is representing the people of the Netherlands. They're looking at all this skullduggery going on. Someone's trying to get away with something here. Yeah. But again, it's almost like that enemy within, because sides didn't want to compromise. And I think there's going to be a lot of soul searching and a lot of reprimands for having this collapse happen in the first place. Because think about it. I mean, Netherlands is a bona fide, proper first world country. Yeah. Straight up and down. They are also the second largest producer of the world's food. We need to remember that. That tiny country is the second largest producer of the food for the whole world. Wow. So Netherlands really matters. What happens there has an impact. And there's something going on. Yeah, there's some skullduggery kind of going on. Look what's in the middle. Isn't it always something to do with money when it comes to politics? Or can we also be talking about this in terms of values? Yeah, in the end, actually, I think it was the more, like I said, I can't remember what they're called, but they disagreed with the government's, with the far right stance. Yeah, so maybe values did actually come in here, but also as well, I've seen you both ladies mention the archway, which can mean, you know, sometimes you have to kind of clear the decks, leave the field. Yeah. If we look here, lots of emotions, of course, about this, and this is causing a lot more kind of disquiet. I would have a feeling that the people of the Netherlands really are quite deeply worried about what's going on, because we can see the emotions are here. I think the veneer will be calm. The Dutch are famously quite stoic when it comes to things. But in terms of the impact on the country and maybe the EU in a wider sense, look at the outcome card. I think this is very destabilizing, because it will also spook the other governments of the EU, who secretly probably have their own misgivings anyway. Look, I'm not saying that the EU is perfect. I still think we shouldn't have left. And in many ways, this is the UK right now. Yeah, with our baby bowl.
It'll now be our Brexit card.
Well, yeah. I think so. Yeah, this could be our Brexit card. But I think it goes to show that this is ultimately, I think this is going to destabilize. Obviously, it's going to destabilize the Netherlands. But I think it may change people's feelings about the EU as a whole. Is it really still that bastion of wealth? Or when we think of as well the riots in France, all of the other stuff going on, we've now got a far right government in Italy, etc. Do you know what I mean? I think the sense of Europe itself is starting to look a little bit thin and meager. Yeah. All right. So let's move on. Now we're going to go back to America.
And just before that, a comment. Intrepid viewer, hi. Ancient Rome thrived when it welcomed immigrants and fell when it became xenophobic and closed its borders. Just saying.
Yeah. There'll be some correlations there. Right. Now we're going to move on to Duck L'Orange. Yeah. Because in the questions here, the majority of them, so I'll just read them out. A lot of them are asking about Trump. So Sharon Donnelly, 45, is decompensating more as anticipated. He's upping the ante with his threats. Will he be charged with terrorism? Thanks in advance. And then Dragon Rising said, give us your thoughts on the Republican presidential candidate, which of course so far I think is Duck L'Orange. I think he's the only one who's in the close running. And then Mary Davis says, please tell us that the orange one won't be nominated. Love and light. Not sure about that. I think he probably will be. And then Laurie Woloshin, she said, when will this madness end from 45? He is calling for harm to come to those who are working on bringing him justice. So let's have a look.
Sorry, put the question together for my feeble brain.
We got a lot of questions there.
Sorry, there were several that I read because so many people wanted us to read tonight on Trump. So I've closed with the one from Laurie when she said, when will this madness end from 45? He's calling for harm to come to those who are working on bringing him to justice. But she's saying, when will the madness end? So let's
Are we going to do full reads on these, or are we going to do one card pulls and go through them?
I'm not sure. Would we have enough time?
I think it would if we did one card pulls. I think we have enough.
Yeah, let's try that. Let's do 3. Let's do. Okay, so let's look here. So 45 is decompensating more than as anticipated. He's upping the ante with his threats. Will he be charged with terrorism? Thanks in advance. So let's see if he'll be charged with terrorism. We'll do one card pull on that. Good idea. Ooh.
Something fly out.
Yeah, something fly out. Let's just see. All right. Are we ready? Okay. After 3. Will he be charged with terrorism? 1, 2, 3.
Oh, got my card. Okay.
Interesting. Lena, how do you read your card?
I think this is Jack Smith, King of Wands. I think he's thinking about it. He's got it in his arsenal. On the basis of one card and the volatile nature of the world, I wouldn't say yes or no, but he knows he has it within his ability.
Lady G.
Well, I think this would have to be the orange one himself, that he's the one that's stirring all this up. And when you keep pointing back at all roads lead to guess who.
And my card is, here we are, the false knight. So we know what Dr. Ronge is going to do. As long as this man has breath in his body, remember, his gift is grift. He's already dreaming up, what's my new message? How can I make money out of this? What will be my new email campaign? But this can also mean offers and messages and stuff like that. So it could it be that some kind of offer may be made to Dr. Ronge because there would be so much against him? They might just be like, look, exit stage left, take some kind of house arrest and just leave the field, yeah? Or is it more likely the case, Dr. Ronge coming with more and more of his false messages and more of his craziness? I think it's the latter. All right, so there's that one then. So let's look at... will the orange one be nominated? So will he win the nomination? One card.
When does the nominee get decided in the American system? Can someone tell us? Does anyone know? Is it a year out? When does the nominee get chosen? Yeah.
Good question. I think is it in the fall? It might be in the fall. I could be imagining that.
No idea. Sorry.
No, that's okay.
So one card pull. Will the orange one get nominated? Let's see. All right. Ready? After 3. 1, 2, 3. Ooh. Okay. Lena, how do you read your card?
For me, this would be a yes, at least short term. Sitting pretty, look at him, the smug guy. I think they're too chaotic to actually overpower him. What did you guys get?
Yeah,
Lady
and
G.
I think so too, because I think this is like one of his MAGA elite holding on to and wanting to hold on to that ideation of him.
Indeed, indeed. And I've got the Hanged Man, and when he's the right way up, it can mean seeing things from a different perspective, yeah, which obviously the GOP has no gift for. So here, but when the Hanged Man, when the card is reversed, it can mean feeling stuck and in a bind. I just don't think the GOP know what to do with Duck Larange. It's like they are totally held hostage. They have no imagination. They've tried to float DeSantis, who I call flat tire Trump, and it just doesn't seem to be going anywhere. So I think he will probably win the nomination because there's no other character that can outdo him at his own game.
That's the point. Tim Blackvale says it will be next summer when they nominate, when they hold the conventions for both the Dem and the Rep. Now, that's a whole year away. The landscape will be different. And something else might take him out in the meantime. But as we sit here.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Let's do a Clarence Thomas.
Yes.
And Lucy Clare has come in and she said, will Clarence Thomas resign/retire? Thank you. I mean, clearly the man can't spell shame. So I'm not expecting him to, but let's see.
Is this a one-carder?
Yeah, let's do a one-carder so we can squeeze in one on Iran. Or in fact, someone's actually asked you, Lena, about ScoMo. I don't know who that is, so I'm quite curious.
It's our ex-prime minister.
Perfect.
What about him?
Well, she said, so this is coming from Susie54. I've got no idea, and she's only addressed you directly, but, you know, just remember, try to address all of us because it is, never mind.
Mind you, she's talking in code. I know. She's talking to an Australian. Yeah.
I know. So she says, hi, Auntie Lena. Will our boy ScoMo pay a price for his part in Robodebt? Does that make... What does that mean?
Sorry, this is a side issue, and my answer is no. No, he should, but it won't happen. He'll slide out and under another rock.
Well, there we are. Well,
never mind.
There's your answer, Susie. There's your answer. Very concise and quick. All right, let's do a one-card pull on Clarence Thomas. Will he resign? And then we'll ask the Bard what he thinks, and we'll probably end the show there. All right. Clarence Thomas, will he resign? The man that cannot spell shame. I mean, it's just outrageous. Can you believe these people are justices? It's just outrageous. All right. Are we ready? After three. Yep. 1, 2, 3. Oh.
This is from the Thoth deck here. I moved to the Thoth deck just for Clarence. And it's a weird card in the deck. And he has such powerful allies. It's like he doesn't have to resign because he has the power and support. But it's an irky-perk card, don't you think?
Even just looking at it.
He's pulling in all the connections. Yeah, it's quite extraordinary. You know, into this alchemy and mix of, because he's making very wealthy people happy as well as the MAGAs.
Of course. Looks like a dragon's brew.
It's really weird. There's a griffin and a phoenix and weirdness going on, and two-faced.
Yeah, totally the case. Lady G, how do you interpret your
card? I think that this is such a Pandora's box. They want to keep the lid on it because if he goes, then they're going to be looking at Alito and the other ones are going to be looked at much more seriously. So,
Yeah, makes sense, doesn't it? Like we said, Pandora's box, Lena's card. It's just a cauldron of iniquity.
Literally a cauldron.
Do you know what I mean? So here we are. My card is pretty clear as well. 9 of Wands. He's going to muddle through. Yeah, he's going to muddle through. He's going to keep going. But like you said, he's got such powerful backing. If they were to topple him, that would be that would be the Pandora's box. So I don't see him leaving for now. And then let's see. There was a question about Iran, but I think we've run to time, and it's been a long day for all of us.
Yes,
so
people were asking for the mic time. Now, he was making noise, and then he went out, and what did he do? He went in his little area that I keep him locked up in if I have to go somewhere, and he drug his licky pad in here. Brought it in here, and that kept him quiet. So now I know next week I'll bring the licky pad in and just leave it in here for him. Yes.
Oh, it's a crime to be that cute, isn't it?
So cute. So cute. So cute. So, Lena, it's your turn to select what the bard thinks about Clarence Thomas. But I don't think we've done him yet. So tell me when to stop, and we'll see what he thinks.
And stop. Oh, it's a goodie.
Oh my goodness. This is what the bard has to say about Clarence Thomas. It said, "Thy mother took into her blameful bed some stern, untutored churl, whose fruit thou art."
No.
Oh my God. And that's from Henry. That's from Henry VI. I'll read it one more time.
Yeah.
Thy mother took into her blameful bed some stern, untutored churl, whose fruit thou art. Oh man. I think that's one of the worst.
I think so. Once it goes into the mother stuff, you know it's going to be dark.
Yeah. So apologies to Clarence's mother. May she rest in peace. I'm sure she's on the other side, but that's what the bard had to say. Wow. So on that absolute zinger, can you believe it, ladies? The hour has gone. It has vanished. Just like that. So I want to say thank you to everyone for your questions. Thank you for supporting the channel, particularly after our little mishap last week and stuff like that. So we really appreciate that. Over 1,130 of you were able to join us live. So thank you so much for that as well.
That is amazing. Thank you for that
really
support.
Yeah, we really appreciate it, because there's lots of shows out there. Happy Sunday to everyone else as well who are catching up with us on the Sunday. And please don't forget to like and subscribe and all of that stuff. And the ladies' channels are in the description in the video below as well. And we will see you next week. But yeah, interesting show, some big topics I think we had to get in there.
Yeah.
There is a lot going on.
Making up for lost time.
Indeed. So we will leave it there for now, folks, and we will see you all next week. Much love. Mwah!
See you guys.
Bye for now.